All right, so yeah, there we go. We're online. Well, hey everyone, welcome. This is the second year in a row that Malorian's come down to North Carolina to visit. Well, he's here for I guess Brawler Bash, not just to visit OnceBitten. But welcome to North Carolina. How was your trip?
Went pretty well. I was almost sabotaged by Warhammer Weekly. I was going to watch one of their shows and kind of lost track of time and almost missed my connecting flight. So
nice.
So I think in revenge we could say like this is our show, the Warhammer Daily, which is intrinsically better than Warhammer Weekly.
We're more like the Warhammer Yearly.
Might not last very long, maybe just like the weekend, but for now, intrinsically better.
Yeah. So they're coming down. I think they're going to be down tomorrow afternoon.
I think so, yeah.
Nick and Anthony come down together. Yeah.
Do we want to talk about lists, or what do you want to go at first?
Well, when we talk about what we expect to see at Brawler Bash, and then let's go over our lists.
Sure.
So Brawler Bash, as anybody who watches my channel certainly should know, is 3,000 points, no comp except for there's just a few special characters they don't allow, and the purpose of it is to see how much you can kill. So all the victory points is all like, it doesn't matter if you win or lose the game, it doesn't matter how much of your stuff dies, it only matters how much you kill the other guy's stuff. And then can you get scenario objective points? Because that's actually, what, 1,000? Probably about 1,000 points a game.
Give me a big chunk, yeah.
Yeah, out of 5,000 max, that's 20%. So, so that's Brawler Bash. So I expect to see aggressive lists, a list designed to kill stuff, not lists designed to eke out a 100-point win. That would make sense.
Yeah. One of the things I think was kind of interesting is that I was seeing breakups before how many of each army there were supposed to be, but that was before all the drops. And some of the ones, like you were saying before, the Wood Elves, they have all dropped from the tournament. So,
yeah, what we heard tonight, and this is just rumor, but we heard that at one point there were 140 people signed up for the tournament, and we're down to 92.
Tisk on you, Internet.
That just bites. I mean, stop it. Stop signing up for tournaments and then, ugh. Okay. All right. Well.
So I think like overall, pretty much the same thing. We're wanting to see aggressive armies. I know last Brawler Bash there were tons of the warrior build, and that was just everywhere. I'm expecting to see some of that, but already from the breakdown from before, the number of people going with warriors was the same as high elves or dark elves or dwarves. So that was the same across. I don't know who else really dropped from there, but it's kind of interesting. I mean, I guess people are starting to have the counters to the Demon Prince, so maybe they're starting to pull away from that. You can do some really nasty builds, some killy builds with the high elves or dark elves or even dwarves, so they're going to be pretty nasty.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't pay attention to that, but did I hear you right that you said that it was fairly evenly balanced among the few top armies? Yeah.
And then also vampire counts. It looked like it was a really big band where it was pretty much the same, and not like last year brawlers where the warriors were a huge spike and then kind of dropped down from there.
Yeah. What about Empire?
Empire as well was one of those ones in that big band in the beginning. There were around 8 or 7 players for each type thing.
Yeah, I could see that.
But now with all the drops, I don't know. I mean, they might have assumed that you're going to win best in race for Empire, so they just all gave up. So they're just going to be the only one there.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Okay, all right. Well, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Sure. I guess, do you want to talk about our list then?
Yeah, I mean, the internet knows both of our lists if they watch our channels, but
do they know yours? Because you've been kind of, I mean, when people have been talking about other channels, like, I still don't know what he's going to take.
I don't know. I mean, my list is basically the same. Like I'm leading with Karl Franz, put him in a character delivery unit of 9 Inner Circle Knights, and they have a warrior priest with the crown of command. So I mean, he gives a leadership 10, 18-inch bubble. It's freaking fantastic.
Yes.
Especially in a bigger game when you can't always squeeze together. So I love him for that, and he's a can opener. So if there's these 1-up armored monsters cav units or infantry or cavalry units, he just tears them up. And I think he can kill most characters in a challenge. And if he can't outright kill them all right off the bat, he can scare most any character in the game. So I lead with that. I've got a BSB on foot that's relatively speaking naked. I've got a level 4 Laura Fire, which is a very interesting choice. I even surprised myself with that. I'll go to that in just a little bit. So let's see. My Achille troops, I've got 2 units of 4 demigryphs.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a unit of 44-ish halberdiers, and I've got my steam tank. And that's what I look to kill stuff. You know, the knights, the halberdiers, 2 units of demigryphs. Support units, I've got 2 cannons, a Hellblaster volley gun, supported by a Master Engineer. I've got a unit of 10 archers with a banner, because we have scenarios where you need banners in different places.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a unit of handgunners. I don't know why. They suck.
Yeah, there can always be a bunker, you know, there's something. Pull off that charm shield off a Demon Prince. They have their uses.
Yeah, it's a drop. Sometimes that helps. And you saw my list tonight. I think that's it. That's all the units. So I've got 2 warrior priests. There's a warrior priest on foot with a halberdier. So I have 2 warrior priests. You know, the general BSB level 4 master engineer. I like Lore of Fire because I think. Well, really what I was looking for is, are there builds I'm really afraid of that I have no way of dealing with, and Lore of Fire kind of answers some of that. So you put up a video like, oh, how's OnceBitten going to handle this troll army? And that didn't make the decision, but that got me thinking about it, because before I was leaning towards what, Life or maybe Shadow or something like that.
Yeah.
And you know, so with 2 warrior priests and Lore of Fire, I can almost guarantee that I can get flaming in combat and be able to do a lot more wounds. But I'm also worried about high elf lists, and I really like the Fulminating Flame Cage for that. I like all the direct damage spells they have to deal with these fast cav units going everywhere, or small bunkers in the back lines. I can reach out and hit. I mean, that the Fireball signature spell boosted has a range of 1,000,000 3d6.
Are you worried about the armies or units that are pretty much immune to fire? I mean, have you ever seen any Chaos Dwarves? If you see the Demon Prince is going to have the 2+ ward against it, you know, even High Elves, right? One of the popular builds is going with Dragon Princes, right, making a Death Star of them.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, I don't expect my magic to do everything. So if the magic can't handle it, I'm hoping that my shooting can.
Mm-hmm.
And if my shooting can't handle it, I'm hoping my combat can. And if none of them can handle it, then I wasn't going to win that game no matter what.
There's bad times.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, lately when I've been playing against the Warriors of Chaos Demon Prince build, I don't even cast spells. They're just, it's not worth a miscast unless I can get it easily, and you know, there's something. So I just don't care.
Yeah. Then again, I mean, now this is Brawlers, right? If I miscast and kill something, it's worth it, right? Because you just want to get every single piece of point you can.
Right. Yeah. And even with the ward save, you know, if I do 2 or 3d6 strength 4 hits, and you have a 2 up ward, you're gonna roll some ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a game where just the fear of it was really messing with people.
So what you
use the reach.
So now that you have your list the way it is, what would you say is the top list that you're really worried about now facing?
Well, I've been worried all along about Dark Elves, I mean, especially with special characters. So the big horde of witch elves with Hellebron scares me because I just don't know how to deal with it. You know, especially when it's supported with a big horde of halberdiers and multiple fast cav units, the Warlocks, 3 bolt throwers. I don't know. I think this list has ways it can deal with it, but that's what I'm concerned about. Your list, you know, your list concerns me. We're both laughing because we've already played our game, but we don't want to give it away.
We'll talk about that after the list. We'll get there.
Yeah. Or maybe not. We have battle reports to do.
Well, we can ask the question. We can give them little hints, and we can make a poll, see what they'll think is going to happen.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I know my first round matchup already. We've been talking about this today. It's been posted online, and I'm facing Dwarf Army in game 1 with a horde of 40-ish Slayers, a horde of, Hammerers?
Hammerers, yeah.
A horde of Warriors, and then a mid-sized unit of something else.
And I was asking, was it Warriors for sure, or was it Longbeards?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I would guess it's Longbeards if it's...
It could be. And those, there's no shooting, there's no magic. There's probably some magic defense. There's got to be points in characters.
Just the one gyrocopter you said, right?
One gyrocopter. And this is all rumor. He basically, the guy who lives in the local area. Somebody saw him playtesting his list. So I mean, that's what he thinks he's playing, and I don't know yet how I'm going to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. But I don't know.
Fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah. The thing is, everybody's bringing a tough list. You know, it's a brutal uncomped event, and I think my list is very typical of lists for me. It's got a lot of ways to deal with a lot of stuff, but it doesn't really overwhelm anything. You know, I'm kind of counting on things working.
Well, you have a lot of offense to your list, right? Between the Knights, the 2 units of Demigryphs, and the Steam Tank, you have a lot of forward, fast units, and then you have the horde of Halberdiers falling up behind. So you can be on a very aggressive list if you wish to.
Yes. I can get across the board in a lot of games I play. I have enough shooting that I don't have to, and I can hang back with all that offensive power. I can still just kind of hang back. But it's offensive. But then again, you're talking about let's talk about your list and the dwarf list. Both of them, these 4 hordes. Well, my offensive power is just demigryphs. That's 4 models.
Yeah.
You know, and I can fail a 1-up armor save.
You prove that.
Yes, I can.
That's tip number 1.
I can fail a 1-up armor save again and again and again. But there's not. I mean, they can put out the hurt. They can save a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of bodies, a lot of attacks coming at them, and I don't really have that. The only thing I have that can absorb wounds are the Halberdiers.
Now, here's a question with that playstyle, because I think that is the right way to play your list: is sit back for a turn or 2, weaken them up, take out their support, and then move forward. But given that it's brawlers and you need to be aggressive, would you still do that playstyle, or just push up and then try and shoot at the same time?
No, I would absolutely do that playstyle. The only time I wouldn't is if they were hugging the back line and I was worried about this person just wanting to screw both of us. I don't need them just to come to me, but I move quickly. I mean, Demigryphs and Knights, I don't need to be moving on turn 1. I can get across the board in 2 turns.
Yeah.
So I'm very comfortable hanging back. The way I look at it is I don't have so much shooting that I'm going to kill everything. Nobody has enough shooting to kill everything on the table except for Chaos Dwarves. Bastards.
I concur.
But I don't need to kill everything. What I'm looking to do is to hang back and kill the things that I can't handle in combat. Or get them weak, get them down to where a couple wounds so they have to be careful with them. And, so I mean, that's my thinking going into it.
Or even just to put things in your favor, right? Like if you face another Empire army, shoot down that Hurricaneum or something like that, right? So then it's not going to be there to help you out, or to help them out. Yeah. I guess one of the things I want just to quickly throw it out there for those who haven't seen my list, I am running kind of a wonky troll thing. I have a Goblin War Boss with a wizarding hat. He's my general. I have a Night Goblin BSB. 3 units of 20 Night Goblins with 5 Knacks going across there. Savage Orc Big Horde, 2 hordes of trolls, and then a horde of river trolls. So it's
yeah. And if he has the right card, he gets to Vanguard a core unit.
Yes.
Which would be Savage Orc. Savage Orcs.
And that does fantastic. And I think, again, like the big thing I'm worried about is, again, the Dark Elves, because especially with being able to fly around, if it's Marathi or even just a regular level 4 on the Dark Pegasus, it can fly right to that perfect spot on the side of my lines and Purple Sun all the way down. And probably the biggest worry there is that my first draw there, he's either probably going to be Orcs and Goblins or Dark Elves. So I might see that first.
But you could put your 2 of your Night Goblin units on your flank.
Yes, I can change up my deployment to have them covered there, but even then, I mean, they're usually set up to have that 3+ ward, right? So I don't know if I could even kill them off with the Fanatics. Could be tough.
Could be.
Plus, as well, I mean, once they're there, they're outside of my general's bubble, and they could always have a Hydra or Charybdis there just to make a long bomb charge so I fail a terror and then I'm out of the way.
Right.
But
no, your list. I think wonky is a good way of describing it. It's a wonky list. It's so overwhelmingly powerful, and yet is so fragile. It's.
Yeah, it's definitely a Hulk-style list. Hulk, and then yours is the Batman. So
yeah. Yes.
One of the things we were talking about on the drive over is you were talking about it's probably better to go into a tournament like this, starting with more of a minor win and then working your way up. Did you want to comment on that?
Well, we were just talking. I was talking about how I was worried about the matchup in game one, um, and then it just occurred to me. It's like, what do you want? I mean, do you want to kill somebody, just slaughter in game one? You've got 4 games left. Do you really want to be at the top table? It may be better to get enough points that you're still competitive for what you want to do, but be playing in the mid-pack area as opposed to at the top. Because at the top, people beat each other up. I don't know. I mean, a lot of times at the top tables they beat each other up, but again, you don't mind losing, right? You just want to be able to
get big points.
Yeah, I kill your army, you kill army, we both go home happy.
Yeah.
That's my real fear. My real fear is playing somebody who doesn't get it, and who brings a list and has a play style where they're just trying to conserve their points. That would suck.
Well, I think the big thing when we get these big tournaments is even at 90+ people, this is a big tournament. The first couple of rounds can be such a gamble. I mean, with this way where some of these had grudge matches for the first round, sure you have kind of an idea there, but it could easily randomly could be a strong player, randomly could be a weaker player. Even if you get that big win in your first game, those can still happen for the other games, right? 2 other weak people. Or even if you got big points, let's say you win or lose the first one, you never really know what's going to happen in that second one. It's not really until you get to game 3, 4, or 5, then things really start to even out.
Game one, you're like, yes, I would actually.
That's just what I do.
Yeah,
or I try to.
you got to get the points while you can.
Yeah.
I mean, if you only score a couple thousand points game one, you're kind of an uphill battle the rest of the tournament. If you want best in race, or if you want to be a top 10 or something like that.
Yeah. So talking about bottom tables, last year you kind of liked it down there. Not to rub it in at all.
Oh my gosh.
But this year, what's kind of your predictions for how you're going to do this year?
Oh gosh, I'm afraid to say. I can tell you. What it was, you kept me up doing stuff like this.